Yo, 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 yo. Welcome into a little Sports 56 happy hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a wild Monday. Hopefully you had a wonderful weekend. I know I had a heck of a weekend. Big thanks to Simmons Bank, Laura Boyd, 2 nights in the Simmons Bank suite for a little Billy Strings. And then I was supposed to go to the Tiger game on Sunday, but my hypocrite self partied way too hard to where I put my girl on the ground. And when we started to walk across the street from the Forum, from the West End to go watch the Tigers, she said, "I don't feel good, baby." She partied a little hard. Tigers, though, it's my fault that they lost to Arkansas State. My heart's broken. We're going to talk with Terry Davis today at 11:30 about how I jinxed the Tigers and help Arkansas State make all their threes, it felt like, every time they shot the basketball. At 8 o'clock in the morning when they were coming down for shoot-around, I was coming up from a party and left my key in the room. And, of course, I started talking to the Arkansas State players. And I'm like, "Oh, man, y'all stayed at the West End. Y'all partied. Y'all do this. Man, don't take it too wrong if the Tigers go beat the brakes off of you. They're really, really good." And they, threw a few jabs back at me. We kind of laughed. They were extremely nice. We had a little fun, and then they went out there and did what they said they were going to do to me. And they said, "We leave in Memphis with a win." First win since 1991 against a team in the top 25. And that team was New Orleans back then. I don't even remember New Orleans being any good. UNO? For real? And then they beat the Tigers yesterday, probably the biggest win ever in Arkansas State basketball. And it was very, very painful for Memphis fans. But here's what you have to just hope for. They don't look like last year's team. They couldn't throw a ball in the ocean in the first half. They shot under 20%. And Arkansas State made it rain from three-point line. And, Tigers got a big painful loss. But we'll talk with Terry Davis about the Tigers. I want your opinions. Sissy's Log Cabin text in listener line. Life's too short for ordinary jewelry. 901-360-8255. We got to talk about them Grizzlies. Did the Grizzlies for real beat the Celtics, or was I just that spun? Is that real?
Happened, John.
Oh, what a game. And then when they played the Wizards, they didn't play Ja, no problem. They didn't play Bane, no problem. Scottie Pippen Jr. doing his thing. Marcus Smart. Everybody's a lot of people are have a mixed bag on Marcus. He came up big. Hopefully he can continue this and come off that bench ball like an all-star and do his thing. But Grizzlies are playing good. Tigers had a tough one. And, of course, in just a few minutes, we are talking with Jake Crane about the College Football Playoff Committee. We'll talk about all the teams that are in, all the teams that are out, all the teams that should be in, all the teams that have a good road, a bad road to hoe, all kinds of College Football Playoff Committee issues, plus the NFL is buck wild. Josh Allen had 3 touchdown passes, ran for 3 touchdowns, passed O.J. Simpson for rushing touchdowns for the Bills, and they still lost. What kind of conversation do you think he had with his defense after that game? You guys are terrible. Their defense has been pretty good. But somehow they held on and got the big dub. Rams Puka Nacua was a baller. 12 receptions, 162 yards, a touchdown. Ran for a touchdown. Ridiculous. And if you want to speak of ridiculous, the Bears are just terrible. Ryan Poles is such trash. But it's time to talk to the best in the business. If you like sports and you're not paying attention to Crane & Company, I don't know if you really like sports. Because I'm telling you, man, go home in the afternoon, put them on the YouTube, watch, listen, learn. Jake Crane, Blake Crane, David Cone, they're ballers, they're shot callers. And we got Jake now. What up, Jake?
Man, what is up? What a time to be alive, man. First off, look, I know we're going to talk college football, but I just quickly want to say the SEC in college basketball is the best conference in the country, and it's not even close.
That to me is not even a shocker. They're the best in baseball, football, basketball. In fact, they also are number 1 in having the sexiest women in the world. So I'm all SEC.
for sure. It just means more all the time.
All the damn time. Speaking of it just meaning more, I guess we should start right here. SMU said this. You said this. Listened to your show all week. The one thing that could keep Alabama out is a very, very close loss to Clemson. Clemson, of course, lost. Got their brains beat out at home by South Carolina. Got absolutely mangled earlier in the season. Against Texas against Georgia. And that's 2 losses. Clemson gets in. Do you punish SMU for playing the championship game and go with the team that you actually think's more deserving, or you go with the team that thinks better? Do you think the committee got it right putting SMU over Alabama?
Well, look, I think the way that we calculate the 12 best teams is screwed up. So there's really no perfect answer in this scenario. You're kind of screwed from the beginning because it's all subjective, and then the part that's supposed to be objective, they don't show us the numbers. So I think it comes down to multiple things being true at once, and beauty is always in the eye of the beholder. Do you think it should just be the 12 best teams? Because I think Bama would beat SMU on a neutral side. I think South Carolina would. I think Ole Miss would. Or do you put in the 12 most deserving? If we had objective metrics that we used, I think you could come up with a better option to be able to meet somewhere in the middle on it, but we don't. So basically what the committee did was they valued conference championship games, right, and win-loss record over strength of schedule and conference strength. And to me, I said all week, and I've said this all year, I don't think teams that have to play an extra game as a reward should be punished if they lose that game. And the way you do that is say, all right, SMU lost. If you're going to compare them to a 9-3 Alabama, treat them as 11-1. They're 11-1 resume versus a 9-3 Alabama. So when you look at that, I'm of the belief that win-loss record should matter, strength of schedule should matter. But when we're debating between 11-1 and 9-3 teams, as opposed to like Miami and Alabama, that's a 10-2 and 9-3, I feel like the 11-1 team should have an advantage in that somewhat if the strength of schedule and record is even remotely close, which it wasn't super close between SMU and Alabama, but it was remotely close. So I can see why they put SMU in. I think the biggest surprise, and I've even had Alabama fans that agree with me on this, because believe it or not, there are rational Alabama fans out there, is they're shocked Bama didn't get the benefit of the doubt. Because my whole life, when it comes down to getting into the postseason, outside of 2021, which I don't think the case between TCU and Alabama was really that close, Alabama has gotten the nod because of who they are and what they've done in their past. Not only did they get bumped out by anyone, they got bumped out by SMU. It wasn't like they put Ohio State in over Alabama. They put SMU in over Alabama. So that was the most shocking part to me. But I do think they got it right from a standpoint of the win-loss record has to matter as well. The part that I'm not understanding, because I get why Greg Byrne and Kalen DeBoer and Shane Beamer and Lane Kiffin would politic for their team. I've got nothing wrong with you making a case. The problem is you're making the wrong case. Sitting here and saying, all right, well, we're just not going to schedule anybody good in the non-conference, that's not the reason they left you out. The reason they left you out is because you had 3 losses in conference. Bama didn't lose a non-conference game, South Carolina didn't, and Ole Miss didn't. Make the case, but make the right case. You should be saying, listen, our conference is the best in the country. It's so hard that our 9-3 should be viewed differently than anybody else's 9-3, and we should get the benefit of the doubt when you look at a team like SMU, even though they're 11-1. That's what I think.
Now right now, like this year, I know we're like sitting in the moment. A lot of talk about SEC moving to 9 regular season games. Do you think that because of just right where we're sitting, athletic directors Greg Sankey are saying, "Oh hell no"?
Yeah, that's the case to be made. Now we're definitely not going to 9 games because you are punishing us for having a really good conference and there being a lot of mishmash at the the top and in the middle. So to me, they may go to 7 conference games.
Damn, it's just wild. It's just been obviously, it's been fun. The expansion has been great. There's still a few things I think that need to be worked out. Of course, like, Oregon being the only undefeated team, going 13-0, winning their conference, and then they have to play the winner of Tennessee and Ohio State. And then they're more than likely probably going to play Texas, and then possibly have to either beat like Georgia or Notre Dame or Boise State just to get the championship. That's going to be difficult.
Yeah, and look, everybody keeps talking about this reseeding and stuff like during the actual playoff. They're never going to do that. So you can want that to happen. You can make a case for it. But I think the argument now is the order in which they had them was flawed. Because if you're the committee, that if you put Boise State at 3, if you're the 6th seed like Penn State, that's a break for you. So to me, I think the order was flawed because, look, Oregon is undefeated. They should have the easiest path, right? We do this in college basketball. So why would you not seed accordingly and give Oregon the easiest matchup between the first 2 teams that are playing? Now, who would that be, right? When you look at who's playing in the first round, I don't think it's Texas Clemson because Texas is there. It's sure not Tennessee and Ohio State. I think that's the best matchup between 2 teams out of anybody in the first round, saying that those are the 2 best teams that are playing each other. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at it. I mean, you would think it'd be Notre Dame and Indiana, right? So why would you not do that accordingly or change the seating structure somewhat where that benefits? I can understand Oregon fans being upset. Look, the biggest winner yesterday outside of SMU was Penn State without a shadow of a doubt.
I'm right there with you. Again, I mean, Penn State's so lucky they get SMU. I think they're going to, bully whip them. They haven't really beaten a top 25 team. But again, you get SMU in round 1 and Boise State in round 2. Now, Boise State's no slouch. They took Oregon to the end. But again, like you said, I'd rather play Boise State or Arizona State than Oregon and Georgia in the deadgum quarterfinals. So I'm right there with you. Now, that Tennessee-Ohio State game specifically, Ryan Day. We know Ohio State's fans have been freaking out. He's 1-4 against Michigan. He's 0-4 versus the SEC. Is this a game that if Ryan Day loses to Tennessee, Ryan Day might lose his job?
I think it's a possibility because you lost to Michigan. I mean, we war gamed this scenario on Crane and Company the whole week leading up to Michigan-Ohio State. Like, if Ryan Day and them lose this game, which they did, what would he have to do to keep his job? I think he would have to at least make the national title game, which is crazy to say when you look at his overall record. But when you get hired at Ohio State, they are hiring you not to just win national championships or be national championship relevant. You get hired to beat Michigan. Just like when you get hired at Alabama, you get hired not just to win championships, but to beat Auburn and beat LSU. And vice versa at Auburn, you get hired to beat Alabama and Georgia. So if you're not doing that, especially if you're not doing either, if you are winning a bunch of national championships, okay, maybe you can overlook it because that overrides everything in my opinion. But you're doing neither. You're just beating up on the fat kid with glasses at recess, and that's not good enough at Ohio State.
No, it's definitely not good enough for Ohio State, but I thought one of the shockers was just a slap in the face to Ohio State and kind of where they're at was when Kirk Herbstreit's kid committed to Michigan, I almost fell over.
Yeah, and look, I don't know all the details on, his chances at Ohio State or whatever. I mean, you're basically going there to hang out with Bryce Underwood. Mm. So, look, I've got no problem with kids, going to the rival school. At the end of the day, it's whatever the best situation for your child is. I grew up, my father played at Auburn. He was an All-American at Auburn. I grew up in an Auburn household. If Alabama called me and offered me millions of dollars to do something, I'd dress up in an elephant suit and walk to downtown Nashville.
I feel you on that. We're talking with Jake Crane of Crane & Company. A lot of college football going through our airwaves right now, and especially on Crane & Company today. Make sure you check them out. Georgia When Carson Beck hit the turf, did you think it possibly was over for him?
Well, look, that type of arm injury is scary for anybody, right? Like when you're getting hit, it's like when a pitcher on the mound throws a pitch and immediately grabs his elbow. But in this case, you have a force that is stopping your arm that is already generating a ton of force. This is one of the most dangerous type of injuries. Not that it's a dirty play. You teach the defensive line to knock the ball out. It's a fumble. You want the ball. But as far as a chance to be catastrophic, it's one thing to get hit while you're running with the ball. It's one thing to, put your head down and try and run somebody over and get hit in the shoulder. It's another thing to be hit on the elbow or on the arm or even on the hand, including a follow-through that hits the helmet. Those can be very catastrophic. But if I'm Georgia, it's questionable forever.
And then just also looking at Texas, Quinn Ewers. I mean, my man was sacked how many times? I don't even know. I think it was like 8 damn times or something, 13 times in 2 games against Georgia. When he gets sacked, he doesn't, he makes some bad decisions, 2 interceptions, very costly for the Longhorns, especially in the first half, Texas was moving the ball all over Georgia, and then they'd shoot themselves in the foot with a penalty or take a big sack or a turnover from Quinn Ewers. What do you think about Texas's chances in the college football playoff?
I just don't think they can win a national championship with them, and it's not that Quinn Ewers is a bad player. It's that in today's game, if you're going to win a national championship, you need a quarterback that can create. Now, I don't mean you have to be Michael Vick, but you have to be somewhat of a threat to create inside and outside of the pocket. Quinn Ewers' problem is, and not that he's the worst at it, we've seen him kind of wiggle out every now and then or slide up in the pocket. It's that most of the time he cannot create. So Sark almost has to be perfect in play calling, and the offensive line has to be perfect in protection. And just the odds don't fall in your favor when that happens over a course of time. And once you level up in competition, where maybe your offensive line can't just dominate the other team, whether that be in the run game or in pass pro. So you can get away with it sometimes. You can maybe even get away with it a decent amount of the time, but you can't get away with it enough times. And that's why I don't think they can win it with them.
Kenny Dillingham, 34 years old, baller, shot caller. How the hell did he do this to Arizona State? They were picked dead last over there in the Big 12, and now they're the champs.
Well, there's multiple factors, right? I think the Big 12 overall didn't have an elite team in it, or didn't have a couple of just absolutely dominant teams in it that were going to keep a team like Arizona State out. And then the bottom of the Big 12 was pretty bad. Not saying the ACC is, and we can have an argument about the ACC or the Big 12, but I don't want that to take away from the fact of, number one, who Arizona State is, which is a physical team that through the transfer portal was able to create a togetherness identity and a physical identity, which is not easy to do, especially with how they were having to rebuild. But I think probably the 2 things I can point to the most with Arizona State is, one, Kenny Dillingham wants to throw the ball around. He wants to be fascinating on offense, but he realized that wasn't who they were this year. They needed to be a downhill, dual-threat run team with the ability to pass out of play action and be really good in the intermediate passing game. So he was willing to put his pride and ego aside on what he wanted to do for what was best for his football team. And that is a very mature decision as a young head coach that just got his first big head coaching job. Typically, you want to do it your way because this is what got you here, and you want to swing your sword your way, but sometimes you got to adjust. That's why I think high school coaches are some of the best in the country that don't get to recruit, because they have to adjust to their personnel. And then also I think Sam Levitt's development. Everybody talks about Scadaboo. He's amazing. He's a heck of a player. He's fun to watch. As somebody said on Twitter, Cam Scadaboo is the Cooper DeJean of Ashton Genties. So having him is big. But Sam Levitt's development as a passer and his capability as a runner has opened up this offense and given them balance and versatility.
And the other thing is a lot of people don't realize, like, this kid doesn't turn the football over. I mean, 24 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. His QBR is 11th in the country. And, yeah, we always talk about Scottaboo, but he has been he's been a very calming factor back there, behind the center. Looking at the odds, last but not least, and then, of course, I got to ask you about Monday Night Football because we love to gamble. College football playoff to win the national championship odds are out, of course. And I don't know, man. They look a little bit wild to me. Plus 350 for Georgia and for Texas and for Oregon. Ohio State plus 525, Penn State plus 60, Notre Dame plus $1,000. Then it keeps going down. Tennessee plus 2,800, all the way down to Broncos who are getting plus 6,000. If you got to put a little coin on it, who do you think has the best chance and the best odds to win the national championship? Where are you putting your smart money?
Well, if I am going to get the most bang for my buck, it is Notre Dame. When you look at the way the bracket works out, when you look at the teams that would be in front of them if they were to win, and then their capability, because if Riley Leonard continues to throw the ball well, they can really play complementary football at a high rate, and not many teams have shown the ability to do that this year. They can win games in multiple ways. They can score a lot if they have to score a lot if he continues to throw at this level. That's the biggest question. But the most bang for your buck, without a doubt, is Notre Dame. A lot of people are saying Tennessee, but that path is so tough. Even if they play well and win a couple, I mean, it is an absolute gauntlet that they are facing. If I had to pick a team to win it, I mean, Oregon's the obvious answer, but you're not going to get a lot of bang for your buck. Give me Notre Dame at plus 1,000. I think it was plus 1,200 yesterday.
Oh, my goodness. Moving already. Bengals, Cowboys tonight. Last but not least, Cincinnati 4.5-point favorite over the Cowboys in Big D. Total 49.5. Is there anything that you like out there?
Well, I told many people, put money on David Montgomery for your first touchdown scorer when the Lions game on Thursday night, and that one hit. I'm going to go back to the well again. Give me T. Higgins' first touchdown score tonight at plus 850.
Dig it. T. Higgins plus 850. He's Jake Crane from Crane & Company. Check him out at YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, all the places in the whole wide world. What you got coming down the pipe this week?
Man, we got everything. We got Rhett Lashley coming on this week. We're diving into the bracket. We're giving our previews. We're trying to console some fan bases and hype up some others. Tim Brando's coming on this week. If you love college football, just come home.
Do you think
come home? Come into the trust tree.
Come into the trust tree, and also Rhett Lashley and the like SMU's boosters who paid their way in and then went out there and made it to the college football playoff. They got to be dancing around the streets, right?
Oh God, what a great return on your investment! And a lot of people don't know SMU is so rich. They're so rich. So it's not like the money well is going to dry up. It's a great return on your investment.
Jake, thank you so much for your time. Be blessed, homie.
All right, man. Y'all too. Appreciate y'all.
That's my buddy Jake Crane. We're going to take a quick time out. It's time to talk a little bit about the Tigers and the Grizzlies with the Care Bear Stare. That's Terry Davis. He's next. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Indulge yourself or your loved ones this season with a trip to Sissy's Log Cabin. Here, you can shop our expansive selection of designer brands, one-of-a-kind jewelry, and spectacular statement pieces, all while enjoying the Sissy's promise of unmatched quality, service, and brilliant natural diamonds. Stop by any location or shop online at sissyslogcabin.com to find your trusted jeweler for holiday memories that last a lifetime. Make a statement this season only at Sissy's Log Cabin. Hey!
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, and great news. Good news. Your coworker Kyle said bundling home and auto insurance with Progressive could save you money. Bad news. While saying this, Kyle was eating your clearly labeled lunch. Dumb news. Pizza near work costs $7 $2 a slice, and it tastes like drywall covered in ketchup. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and enjoy more lunches far away from Kyle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
It's your last chance to snag Dell Technologies' lowest prices of the year before the holidays. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. This is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
All the wisdom of the universe is in these
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. We've been deep in college football as, of course, the College Football Playoff Committee's out. The bracket's set. Odds are out. We'll be talking about bowl games as well, but we got to switch gears, man. Oh, Liberty Bowl, by the way, Texas Tech, Arkansas. I'll give you where all the SEC teams are going to be. Like, there's some terrible matchups. Like, outside of the College Football Playoff, the bowl system, I mean, it just almost makes me want to kind of vomit, to be honest with you. There's just, I mean, I'm glad that, Arkansas is coming into Liberty Bowl again. Texas Tech, great. Fun stuff. But if you're an SEC fan, like Florida, Tulane, does that excite you? A&M and USC, South Carolina, Illinois, Bama, and Michigan, LSU, Baylor, Missouri, Iowa, Ole Miss versus Duke, ugh. Oklahoma and Navy. Like I said, Arkansas and Texas Tech are playing here in the Liberty Bowl, and Vandy's playing Georgia Tech. Bowl games aren't as sexy as they used to be, but we'll be betting on them. We'll be gambling. We'll be talking about them, but it's time to switch gear, get off a little bit of football. Time to talk hoops with my good buddy Terry Davis. TD, what up?
What up, brother? And who is we? Are we French now?
Actually, this is weird that you mentioned that. I hung out. I was at Billy Strings all weekend partying downtown, and I met a dude from France, of course. And he speaks French. We called him Frenchie the whole time because I couldn't remember his name. Yo, Frenchie. So you saying that just kind of makes me laugh. And that poor guy comes to Memphis, Tennessee, runs into me on Friday and parties with me till Sunday. That boy's liver's shot.
You never know. Them Frenchmen, they love that wine, so his liver might be just right.
You might be right. You might be right. Now, what happened to the Tigers? Is it my fault? I got to preface this by yesterday morning, about 8 o'clock in the morning, between 7:30 and 8, I had to go because I was returning to the room because we partied, like I said, little Billy Strings all weekend at about 7:38 in the morning. Chas left, of course, her bag that you wash your face in or whatever. You know how women always got those things with all that stuff they have to have in the car. So I had to go downstairs, get the valet to go get it out of the car, bring it back to me. Got on the elevator, forgot my key, rode it all the way up to floor number 8, and 6 Arkansas State basketball players got in the elevator with me. And I'm a little chatty. So I started saying, "Oh, what's up, boys? Welcome to Memphis. Y'all ready for the Tigers?" And they were like, "Yeah." They were extremely nice and everything. I was like, "Man, don't feel bad when they go out there and beat the brakes off you." And they're like, "Oh no, we leaving Memphis with a win." They were very, very nice, but I didn't think they were being honest. But damn, the first half the Tigers couldn't throw it in the ocean, and Arkansas State couldn't miss. How do we take the loss to Arkansas State, first win against a team ranked in the top 25 since 1991, probably the best win in the program's history for basketball?
That is right. That is the best win in program history, and the best win in program history come against their big brother, because everybody at Memphis look at Arkansas State as their little brother, because everything you look up, Memphis beating Arkansas State. See, that's what happens when you just have a bad game. They picked the wrong day to have a bad game. They played their worst game offensively, their worst game defensively, and even the little bunnies they used to could easily go in, the layups, it just was a bad day all around. And what you got to do is just flush it and move on.
You got to flush it and move on. And you know what? One thing that could help, if you can go on the road and beat Clemson, all it will be forgotten.
Right. If you go back and you beat Clemson, because you have Clemson, Virginia, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State left before you get to the conference. Even if you go 3-1 with that, that'll eliminate all that.
How far do they drop?
23 is probably they're gonna stay in the top 25, but Memphis takes a big hit. Even though a lot of teams lost in the top 25 this past week, they're still in the top 25, 23, 24 at the very, very floor.
At the very, very floor, 24. Is that what you said?
At the very floor, 24.
And yeah, a lot of teams did. I mean, Kansas lost to Missouri. I don't know how how that happened. You had God, who was it else that I was like going, I can't believe they lost as well. Oregon lost to UCLA.
Yeah, the top 4 teams lost, and so many other teams lost too. There's so many teams. Last week it was just upset week. People getting ready. Some of these conferences are already playing, like the Big Ten is already playing conference play, and it's about to level off where everyone's getting back into conference play within 2 weeks.
I thought one of the wildest games of the weekend had to be the Kentucky-Gonzaga win for the Pope. My man, he's doing some things in Kentucky, ain't he?
Yeah, but you know what? In Kentucky, it ain't about what you do in the regular season. It's what you do in the postseason.
That is for damn sure. Right now, though, how is it that Penny gets this team off the mat? Like, you just got to flush that one. What do you think about this team? Like, I had a couple of people going, oh, my gosh, it's going to turn into just like last year's team. I really don't believe that.
But, in this day and age, you cannot judge this team by last team because it's only one player back from last year, and he's the 4th best player on the team. Nick Jordan. He's the 4th best player on the team. So it's not rocket science, and I think this team has more heart and more fight and more dogs than the team had last year.
I think you're right. Right now, though, if you look around the landscape of college basketball, Kansas fell. Auburn had their little, they lost. Who's going to be the number 1 team in the country?
Tennessee.
The Vols, baby. It's not even a question, is it?
Not even a question.
So last year's team I thought was more talented than this year's team. Now, last year's team, when the team started, I had no idea who the hell Dalton Connect was. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, man, who is this young man? And he goes out there and he's crazy, and you see what he's done in L.A. and in the pros and everything. But right now, what makes this Tennessee team so damn good?
They're coached well. Rick has got those guys, under, his system. And he just knows how to get that good talent, and he knows how to get those guys to play well together.
He really does. And Zakie Ziegler.
But you know one thing about Rick?
What?
He always season
until the postseason.
Until the postseason.
Well,
that postseason.
Eventually, a blind squirrel finds a nut, don't they? I mean, if you go that many times to the tournament, eventually he's going to find that nut.
Exactly. But he's been there he's been in this situation not since he's been in Tennessee. Even when he was at Texas, he had this problem.
If you look around the country in basketball, is there a better conference than the SEC when it comes to hoops?
Maybe the Big East.
Damn. I don't know, man. That SEC, that SEC.
That Big East is a bear, man. Connecticut, Marquette, Creighton.
Yeah, you're.
Yeah, it's a bear.
It does.
But don't get it twisted. SEC is good, but don't get it twisted. Both of them are really good. It's crazy. About 5 years ago, SEC was almost a too big league when Kentucky was running around with them. You remember that?
Yes, I do. It's called money, baby.
Money makes the world go round, and money makes Johnny happy.
Hayden gets ratings, but money makes the world go round.
Exactly. You said Hayden gets ratings?
Mm-hmm. It definitely does get some ratings. Now, hating on this Memphis basketball team right now seems kind of something simple to do. I don't really want to do it at all. Again, Arkansas State was hotter than Cooter Brown. I think they were looking past them against Clemson. But if you're right now an objective Tiger fan, How do you feel like, because remember last week I was so high. I was like, well, we're rejected a 2 seed and one bracket, a 4 seed and another. Oh, my God, I love this team. Now I came back down to a little bit of reality and earth. Kind of do blame myself again for talking to the Arkansas State players some trash. But
what happened? You remember we had Memphis beat Florida State in football, right? What did I tell you about that?
Don't
I
get
said,
too
don't
high.
worry, don't get too high on that. And I'm gonna tell you the same thing about this right here. Is don't get too high and don't get too low on this right here. If Memphis go and win the conference and win their tournament and get a top 4 or 5 bid in the league, they should be set up to make a nice run. If they don't, if they just go out there and do a mediocre job and win the conference and win it and go in like an 8 or 12 seed, then they're gonna be in trouble. Because this team, I'm not worried about this team making the tournament. I want this team to be set up to make a deep run in the tournament.
I'm right there with you. It's what everybody's wants. That's what we're all hoping. Now I got to switch gears off the basketball team for 2 seconds.
Okay.
Memphis football. Man.
West Virginia.
Yeah,
West Virginia. Mountain Mama.
Are we excited about this?
No, we're not.
I mean,
It was a Tuesday afternoon.
I mean, yeah, it's like
At 8 o'clock at night.
I think it's the second bowl game of like the year too. It's like an early one.
But it leads into the college playoffs.
Yeah. Tuesday, December
And that's-
17th against West Virginia and Frisco, Texas. Do you know Memphis is
And
only
they-
1.5 point favorite, by the way?
Yeah, Memphis is a really good football team. They just screwed up, And even if they had went undefeated, they still wouldn't have made the playoffs.
How do you know? They're in the top 25 with 2 dumb, stupid losses.
But Boise State, because of who they are, what conference they in, and who they lost to, they still would have been above Memphis.
Yeah, you're going to be right about that. Only loss, only blemish on your schedule is a very tight loss to Oregon. And
Right. Okay, they need to change that. I never have agreed to all those teams getting the buys and whatnot, but they have got to change that. I think the season should be what the final poll is and be done with it.
Conference
I agree
championships I know do need to get rewarded, and I completely understand it. We didn't necessarily, I guess, foreshadow.
I foreshadowed this a long time ago.
Clemson
it's
with
just
3 losses getting a bye. Boise State out of the Western Athletic Conference getting a bye. West Coast. I mean, like, what are you talking about? Like, it does feel crazy.
Okay, this is what I think they should do. I think they should go ahead and expand it to 14. Get 2 group of 5 teams if they're in the top 25 automatic bids and go from there. Then everyone's happy.
And after the 12 teams are actually ranked and everything, of course, my heart's broken because Ole Miss didn't get it. South Carolina fans are bummed. People in Tuscaloosa are probably like, I don't even want to know what's going on in Tuscaloosa. They can't handle this kind of. I mean, I bet they yesterday went to the bar to watch the college football playoff committee be announced, and I bet they lost all sense of any decency and normality and went completely wild on everybody.
You know how they could have brought it back? They could have did something that's never been happened in the bowl history. They should have played Alabama and Ole Miss in a bowl game together, and they would have got both fan bases fired up.
Man, that's the other thing I was going to say that upsets me about the bowls. Like, if you look at the non-college football bowl games, especially the ones in my personal opinion, featuring the SEC, since, we're an SEC country, there are not any good matchups. I mean, Vandy, Georgia Tech might be the best one. You got Arkansas and Texas Tech in the Liberty Bowl. You got Oklahoma, Navy. Ole Miss is playing Duke.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Because you got the bowl games with 12 teams going to the playoffs. The bowl games is watered down, for the other bowls because you got all the best teams playing, in the bowl game. That's another travesty of the 12-team playoff.
It's also, I feel like I hate it. I hate it. I can't believe Penn State, where they actually were,
And Penn State got a better road to the playoffs than than Tennessee, Ohio State, and in Oregon.
I agree with you. I mean, they got lucky. I mean, their path is hell.
Easy.
I mean, you get SMU, who. Again, SMU, what a year. Rhett Lashley's done a great job over there. But they lost to Clemson. Clemson got smoked by Georgia, got smoked by South Carolina. And I hate to say this, but
they're going to get smoked in the first round of the
that's
playoffs.
what I was going to say. Texas is going to beat the brakes off of them. This is a team that, we talk about Vandy being 500 record and stuff. I think Vandy beat Clemson as well. Like, man, the ACC. But SMU, how can you punish a team that lost in a conference, game, close 56-yard field goal when you're sitting home chilling?
And my thing, too, is I think you should get rid of the conference championship and just push the playoffs up. Take a week off and everybody play starting this week and go from there. And end on New Year's Day like you're supposed to, and not middle of January.
I kind of like that. It's actually not so bad of an idea.
Yeah.
Kenny Dillingham, though, another guy from Mike Norvell's tree. What do you think about what he's done over at Arizona State? It's pretty ridiculous, isn't it?
I always liked Kenny Dillingham. He's always been one of those little overachiever dudes. He's like a little smart kid in the back of the class. You just want to take your finger and just pluck him, if you know what I mean by that. Because he's so annoying, but he's so good. He
is good, and I still remember. I thought one of the funniest press conferences of the year is remember when the field goal kicker missed all those kicks that day.
Yeah, I remember that was so funny.
And he says, "We are hosting a tryout. Anybody who can kick a football, show up to practice tomorrow. We're looking for a kicker." Like, I thought it was hilarious. And then most of the country was like, "How can he say that? He's so mean." Dude, I don't know if you know this. College football is big business. And these dudes now are getting paid. And if you don't do your damn job, it hurts other people who are getting paid to do theirs. I didn't have any problem with it, and now look at them, man. They, like this little team, Scattaboo's running like a madman. Like, they're fun, but they're going to get their ass kicked.
I don't know, man. If you got a running game, and if, because they remind me of the Steelers, because what they do is they run the ball down your throat, they shorten the game up, they don't make a lot of mistakes, they let you make your mistakes, and then they just take you out of your game plan. Then by the fourth quarter, that big running back is just going to try to run through you. And they got hot at the right time. And one thing about that team, they're a confident team. They think they can beat any team in the country. So they're not walking in scared. They're not walking in hoping to win. They're going in expecting to win. And you know what? Brady White is out there too.
I hear you on that one. And he's out at Arizona State too?
Yes.
I didn't even know that.
Yes. This first year out there.
Dang, got a lot of Memphis ties out there, huh? Interesting.
Memphis,
man. Most beautiful land in the world. Except for they lost to Arkansas State yesterday. We're going to switch gears, though, because we got to talk about the other basketball team in the city, the Grizzlies. And it feels a lot better talking about them today than the Tigers. We're going to have a little...
that dunk that Ja Morant did, oh, my goodness. I jumped out of my seat and looked at that, man. Woo.
I appreciate...
They hadn't won up there in 10 years. It's been a while.
It's been a long time, but I appreciate that he's, I guess, taking less flight to the basket. He's not dunking nearly as much. But when he is highlight reel like a madman, we're talking Grizzlies with Terry Davis on the other side. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Business Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Fall is football at the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland, Town Square. Monday through Friday, it's happy hour from 3 to 6. $1 off all draft meals, $5 off meal drinks, $4.50 for house wine, mozzarella sticks, queso, $4 a day. Friday night lights from 7 to 11. Dining and watch grill games, day 5 free. Watch college football every pro game. Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland. Highway 70. Fall is football. There's no depth that's more beautiful, more versatile, and more meaningful than such 96.3.
Rich Eisen here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Kevin Harlan and Hall of Famer Kurt Warner will have the call when the Cowboys host the Bengals. The healthy Micah Parsons has now led the Dallas defense to 2 straight wins, but they'll have to face Joe Burrow and a Cincinnati offense averaging almost 30 points per game. It's a must-win for both teams, but who's going to pick up the W? We'll find out on Monday Night Football.
Right here on Sports 56.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings. Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade 20th-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call clickgrainger.com or just online.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It's a beautiful Monday. Hopefully you had a great weekend like I did. Again, big thanks to Simmons Bank. I know one thing. I'm switching banks, baby. I'm going to Simmons Bank. They let me use their suite this weekend. Ho, ho, ho. Billy Strings. Let me tell you something. Go see Laura Boyd at Simmons Bank. She is an absolute angel. I love that girl. Now, time to talk a little bit about what else goes on in the FedEx Forum, and that would be some Grizzlies action. Grizzlies went all the way up to Boston and whooped that trick, took care of them. I was absolutely stunned and shocked. Grizzlies right now are kind of finding themselves, and then what was the Wizards they play? They didn't even need Ja or Desmond Bain. Marcus Smart went out there and took care of business. Scottie Pippen Jr. did his thing. How you feeling about the Grizzlies on this beautiful Monday?
Man, you wake up on a Monday morning, they don't play again until Friday, and they're in second place in the West. How can you not feel great about the Grizzlies?
Winners of 3 straight, 9-1 in their last freaking 10. They're finally getting it going, baby.
And they still hadn't got all their pieces together. You know, Cam Spencer, just not getting them grabbed. Zach Edey still, not back. Gigi is still not ready. So it's going to be a great season if they stay healthy.
If they stay healthy, which has always been the key, but if they can stay healthy, I think this is a squad. The other team, though, I've been looking at the West that's been hotter than Cooter Brown. Mavericks are playing really good basketball as well right now.
Yeah, they are, and it's just something about Memphis and Dallas. I would like our
Luka owns us, damn it.
Yeah, he does, but he doesn't. It's like we hadn't met in the playoffs in almost 20, 25 years, and I would love to, play them in the playoffs. Because one, it'd be a short drive, a short trip over there, and two, I think Memphis would match up better than them in the playoffs.
I mean,
Did you watch?
I'm just saying, I watched
Boston?
that Dallas team last year. They overachieved in the playoffs. It looked pretty good. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I watched that Dallas game this year, and I'm just a little bit scared of that Dallas
last
team.
year. Dallas and Boston last year, they both got easy paths because Dallas should have got beat by Oklahoma City in the second round.
I can't remember that. Oh yeah. That was a hell of a series. That
was a great series.
That was ridiculous.
And that's the only team I'm worried about in the West right now is the Oklahoma City Thunder because they're young like Memphis and they're athletic. And with Memphis running the 11, 12 deep on their bench, they won't wear that young team out.
What was it?
But the one problem you got to worry about with the Memphis Grizzlies is I don't know what it is about the officiating, but it seems like the officiating is always one side against Memphis for some reason.
Because it's Memphis. Memphis versus everybody. Okay. Memphis versus everybody. Everybody. Ja Morant went off against Boston. 32 points.
That was the dunk of the year.
Dude, man, that was the dunk of the year. You're like just crown it, OV, done.
Exactly. That was it, man. Because one, it was done on baseline. Two, it was done in traffic. And three, it was a reverse dunk.
That was cold-blooded.
It was cold-blooded. Even the fans in Boston had to give him that. I had a friend that went to the Washington game last night, and they went to the game for one reason only, not to see the Wizards. They wanted to see Ja. I hate when Ja don't play.
And he had Desmond, man, but I hate it because I just hate the nature of the way the NBA rests their stars. But as a Memphis fan, like as Memphis, I do remember it's December. And I do get it with all the problems that they've had with injuries. So I am somewhat of a hypocrite. I get mad when other teams do it. But, man, I kind of understand it when I just look deep underneath the hood and realize this team's injury history.
Hey, look at the symmetry of this game. You know what game number that was they played last night?
25. Oh, yeah. Look at me.
25. And you know the significance of 25? That's a Ja Morant suspension for last year.
And damn! And they're 17 and 8?
17 and 18. It was like really bad. 7 and 18. It was really bad. It's almost like reversing what they.
I was going to say we're reversed now because now we're 17 and 8.
Yes. But it just shows you, and if you just got to take advantage of the opportunity you have in front of you. And I think they are taking advantage of it because they not only preparing for this season, they're developing talent for next season. Because when like I said, next year, Jaren probably going to get the Supermax. Then, I mean, some players on this team might not be on the team next year. So you got to take advantage of everything you can while you can.
When this team is healthy, their starting five is really good. But what do you think that one of the differences is like, I mean, realistically, that second unit ain't bad, especially with Marcus Smart kind of leading it.
That second unit is not bad, and Marcus Smart is not the leader of the second unit. Santi Aldama is the leader of the second unit because he's the most consistent and more available player in the second unit.
But do me a favor. You tell Jason Tatum and you tell my man over there in Boston, Jaylen Brown, how they couldn't lead the team when Marcus Smart was there. I agree with you, Santi Aldama, but the voice is Marcus.
Yeah, his voice was the Marcus, but, they won the championship without Marcus, remember?
Mm-hmm. Once they got rid of him, let the boy. What I'm saying is like they had to basically exit Marcus Smart to let Tatum and Brown be the leaders.
It wasn't that. It's Porzingis, man. Don't be taking that credit from Porzingis.
Strip Club. Came back. Are you talking about Strip Club Willie Kristaps Porzingis? Every time he's not in the arena, he's hanging out at the Shake Joint.
Hey, what's wrong with that? You and him are buddies.
Hey, man, if Platinum was still here, I'd be there every day, too. But you know what?
But my thing is, Porzingis, he was the missing piece that unlocked Brown and Tatum because he can hit that long three and he rebound. And, even though he's a little skinny tadpole, the boy got some heart.
He does. One thing that I do think about that Boston game, though, I look at him like as many threes as they shoot, for them to go 30% from the field from three-point line and the Grizzlies to shoot 45%, like that's the one number that just jumps off the page for me, kind of like help Grizzlies get that. I mean, Ja went 4 from 6 from downtown.
Yeah.
Hell, Trent went 3 for 4 in that game from downtown.
Right. Memphis is not a bad three-pointing team, and that's one thing I hate about Boston, because Boston will shoot you out of a game and then shoot themselves back into a game. So that's the bad side about them. If they're not hitting it, they're going to get blown out. And that's what Memphis almost did if they didn't have assistance from the guys in stripes to keep it close.
I'm right there with you, man. TD, what you got? What's your life look like this week?
Man, you know what? I ain't got pretty much nothing to do until Thursday.
Until when?
Because Thursday.
Nice.
Ain't nothing going on. It's a slow week, which is good. The Grizzlies back in town. The Tigers don't play again until Saturday. It is a nice time to have a little break.
It is a little time. Hey, go get your Christmas shopping done, okay, homie?
We got a bad connection. I didn't hear you. All right.
Hey, TD, thanks for your time. Everybody check him out at the New Tri-State Defender. Follow him on Twitter at Terry Davis 515. TD, be blessed, my friend.
Be blessed, my brother. Have a good one. See you next time.
That is TD, so damn nice. You know what else is nice? Right now, I could eat some Mexican food like you don't even understand, son. And the thing that bothers me, as much as I go eat Mexican food, how come I can't speak Spanish? I should be able to get it through osmosis, right?
You would think so.
You would think so. I mean, I'm at Los Cabos 4 days a week. You know the one right there at Summer and Graham? That's where the flavors of Mexico melt in your mouth. And they also have specials, man. From 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock every single day, they have lunch specials from $7 to $11. They have happy hour from 3 to 8. Yeah! Premium tequila shots are all up in there. And if you love sports and Mexican food, that's your spot. Their bar is awesome. They got the games on. They got TVs everywhere. So when you're looking for the best Mexican cuisine and a little bit of fun, think Los Cabos right there at Summer near Graham. On the other side, you know what we're going to do, don't you? We got 1230 Hardwood because it just feels so good. And then we haven't even talked about the NFL. You know we got a game tonight, Bengals, Cowboys. Who are we going to bet on? That's going to be at the end of the show. But I got to break down everything I saw yesterday, so don't you dare touch that dial. It's Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
If wedding bells are in your future, you need an unforgettable engagement ring from a jeweler you can trust. And that's been James Gaddis Jewelers for over 60 years. With a huge selection and the best prices, James Gaddis is a master jeweler and diamondologist. Beautiful jewelry from James Gaddis is always the right choice. Choose from rings to earrings, necklaces to bracelets, and gemstones to watches. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar, online at GaddisJewelers.com and Instagram at Gaddis Jewelers. Say I do at James Gaddis Jewelers. It's your last chance to snag Dell Technologies' lowest prices of the year before the holidays. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. This is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
High-energy, full-body workout that utilizes the same equipment and technology employed by Floyd Mayweather to achieve his impressive 50-0 record. The workout features 4 types of heavy bags, treadmills, rows, battle ropes, weights, and much more. Visit Mayweather Boxing and Fitness, located at 2257 North Germantown Parkway in Cordova. Train like a champ. Mayweather Boxing and Fitness. 901-673-1267.
Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Felix Cavalieri, Rascals will be performing with 6-1. This year's Puzzle Liberty Bowl, and you want to be there too. We'll hear all the iconic hits at the President's Table on December 26th and beyond. And at halftime, 66 Puzzle Liberty Bowl on December 27th. Get your tickets today by calling the AutoZone Liberty Bowl at 795-7700. The Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive through. Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios, we are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis.
That was one of those things. When things get too heavy, just call me helium.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 at 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is Monday, folks. I hope you had a great weekend. I know I did. I know the Tigers did not. Got dropped by Arkansas State, man. Man. Should I have, if I was a real Tiger fan, what should I have done when I ran into all the Arkansas State players in the elevator?
Showed class like a true Memphian.
I did show some kind of class. I was nice. I was throwing jabs and everything, but they were jabbing back. It was fun, but damn. I was nice. They let me on my floor. They also did say to me, the last thing they said, don't worry, we leaving Memphis with a dub. And I laughed. I said, all right. Good luck, gentlemen. I did say that. That was class. And then yesterday, they just made it rain, didn't they?
You brought them luck, basically.
Man, they made it rain. Well, they're the ones who were at 8 o'clock in the morning going to shoot around. I guess those shots were falling. After seeing my crazy ass, they probably were like, bruh, these people in Memphis, man, they party hard. I told them, though, if they do win, make sure you celebrate with the best. And, of course, you know the best is Tito's. If life hands you lemons, you don't freak out, you don't fret, you don't stress, you just make a lemon drop. Make sure it's with the best. That's Tito's handmade vodka, baby. It is 6 times distilled. Then they still it in classic copper pots. Old school method, baby. That's why it's got that nice, sweet, slightly sweet flavor with that black pepper note. It balances everything out. You can be crafting a cocktail or you can be drinking and eat. Whatever you do, get your Tito's on. And it's the holiday season. What a great gift. Give a bottle of Tito's to somebody and bring out the joy. Don't forget, this is gluten-free because it's all corn. Ain't no potato vodka like over in Russia. And it ain't no commie vodka either. It's USA. Tito's. Handmade vodka. Speaking of USA, American football. That's what the French guy kept saying.
American football.
I do not understand your American football.
Was that French?
No.
Was that really French?
But I can say, je m'appelle Jean, comment allez-vous?
Shout out Jacques Lecoq.
Yeah, American football. It is sometimes confusing. Like it sometimes can be very, very confusing. Like, how does Josh Allen in the Buffalo? Like, Josh Allen played out of his freaking mind, but Puka Nacua had the last laugh. Like, that Rams team is up and down, up and down. They're damn good. Don't get me wrong. When Matt Stafford is spinning that football, they are a great football team. But I thought, remember when we did our rankings? We do our rankings all the time. I'll be doing them tomorrow after tonight's game. Not that Cowboys and Bengals really matter. It's just been a Tuesday thing. So I hadn't done them yet. But remember who had number 1, didn't you? Had the Buffalo Bills. Over Detroit, over Minnesota. Even though these teams just keep winning football games, somehow the Bills lost yesterday to a really good Rams team who don't look now. That NFC West is buck wild. You got the Seattle Seahawks 8-5, the Rams 7-6, and Arizona and the 49ers both 6-7. The problem with Arizona is they've lost 3 straight.
And they hadn't looked good.
And they have not looked good in their last month. It really has not been. Kyler Murray was balling. Defense was playing much better. They're just not one unit right now. The San Francisco 49ers, who you're a big fan of, played the worst football team I think I've ever seen in my entire life. They played the Bears. How many yards did the Bears have in the first half? Wasn't it something like 13 total yards offense?
It was bad. It was bad.
It was so embarrassing. 49ers, who are a pretty average team this year, were up 24-0, and it looked so easy. The Bears, late in the game, got a touchdown and a couple field goals just to get on the damn board. And I got to say, before I even say anything about the 49ers, how does Ryan Poles still have a job? You
got to let him ride it out with his quarterback, man.
Dude, man, I'm just telling you.
He made the first step. He got rid of the coach.
In the last 3 years, I just want you to listen. He's been there for 3 freaking years, okay? His first year, they went 3-14. Last year, 7-10. This year, they're 4-13. I hate to say it. He got rid of the team he had last year, which was not great, but again, had a little bit of promise and some fight in them. 7-10 is better than 4-13. I can tell you that much. And I know Caleb Williams, young and has a lot of potential. But man, keeping Eberflus. I mean, you already see him basically kill Justin Fields. Now I feel like he's gone now finally. But with his decision making down the stretch and late in football games, and some of the decisions he's made with Caleb Williams, I don't know, man. Ryan Poles, the whole Bears situation, it's wild. But if you get somebody who actually knows what the hell they're doing, you do have a young nucleus. And, dude, Chicago loves their football. Da Bears. Da Bears. I mean, is Ditka the only dude that can win?
No, someone came up with a great idea.
What is it?
It was our man Colin Cowherd right here on this network. He said the Bears should trade for our coach, the 49ers coach. And I actually listened. He said it's about timing. He's been there. He's done that. Can't seem to quite get over the hump.
So you think Kyle Shanahan,
who's a quarterback genius, he's taken Garoppolo and
Brock Purdy
to the promised land.
Got Matt Ryan and the Falcons there. Just kind of blew it up in the Patriots.
He's a quarterback
whisperer. He was offensive coordinator.
Should the Niners listen to that? And what should their compensation be?
I just don't know how.
I'm willing to listen at this point.
I'm just going to tell you one thing. Is my homie married?
Who? Shanahan.
Uh-huh. Is Kyle married? Because
I
I'm going to tell you something.
Kyle is.
Let me just say, here's what's going to happen if he comes up to his wife and says, "Hey, baby, you love San Francisco." "Yes, I just love it. It's so wonderful." "Well, we're going to move to Chicago where the winters are brutal."
Yes, John. He's been married for 20 years.
No.
Shanahan's been married for 20 years. Shout out to Mandy Shanahan.
Well, Mandy, I don't think she wants to leave San Francisco for Chicago.
She doesn't have to. Hubby will be away for what, 20 weeks? I'm living an example.
Like a great marriage, man.
I've done it before. I'm living an example. You can commute.
Yeah, you lived down in Florida, didn't you?
Jacksonville.
I don't even want to. You're my. Well, never mind. I'm not even going to ask you. We're going to switch gears. Don't want to get
She's still under. She's still under the roof. She's still there.
All right. All right. Checking. 49ers, though, got that big win that they needed. Rams, they got one in the NFC West is going to be tight. Seattle Seahawks, they took care of business as well. It's just wild looking at like the teams that are the best teams. Like, tell me right now, Minnesota, Sam Darnold goes out there and throws 5 damn touchdowns yesterday, and made the Falcons look stupid.
Detroit slips, and Minnesota's going to get that home field advantage. That's what I'm predicting.
If you slip, then you slip because you're
slipping. Look at you.
I mean, how are the Vikings continuously get it done? Do we now have to believe that Sam Darnold really is the Vikings' answer?
I believe. I'm with it.
I mean, so if you're the young buck who hurt his arm from the damn Michigan team,
you sit for another
J.J.
year.
McCarthy.
You sit for another year. Easy. This is real easy, John. Don't overthink it. Like you ride
But my
Darnold
question
out.
is Sam Darnold going to take a $10 million 1-year contract like he took this year? No, because he's going to want to get paid if he goes all the way to the playoffs.
Correct, but I think you can 1 year him in $40 million. But I see what you're saying. You kind of let the market. I don't know. I wouldn't jump out there for him for 3-4 years. So Minnesota puts out a really good 1-year deal. He stays there.
I mean,
it's monopoly money within the NFL. Why am I saying 1 year? Go ahead, give the man the 3-year deal, whatever. Because McCarthy can't go anywhere.
I mean, dude, I know people don't realize this, like how young these people are. He's only 27 years old.
Yeah, 3 years. 3 years, $90 million. Let's roll.
I mean, that's kind of like when you're getting your groove, right?
Correct. And look at Love in Green Bay. It's like, look at the NFC North model. I mean, it's there for you. Don't overthink it. That's what a lot of these coaches do. Overthink it. Just let McCarthy sit. And plus, he's injured. Like, what's the reason to rush him? No reason to rush him.
Sam Darnold, Jordan Love, Jared Goff. I'm not even going to mess with my man Caleb.
No, don't mess with Caleb.
Who's playing their best football this year?
Again,
who's the best quarterback?
Real easy. Goff. Goff is head above him, not head and shoulders. And then Love, who's second, and then you go Darnold. So Detroit is, I say, a year ahead of Green Bay, and Green Bay is probably a year ahead of Minnesota.
Man, I just can't believe this Vikings team that
they're good.
That basically, the Vikings okey-doked the Giants to be bad for the last 2 years because it was just 2 seasons ago that Vikings team did make the playoffs with that terrible defense. Daniel Jones hadn't thrown 2 touchdowns except for one team the whole season, and that was a regular season game against the Vikings. Then he threw 2 touchdowns in the playoff game. They gave Daniel Jones all that money, sent Saquon Barkley down to Philadelphia. Rest is history. Giants still suck.
One more piece. Daniel Jones is on what? Minnesota Vikings, baby.
And that's the whole funny thing about it. How like everything goes in circles. Speaking of going in circles, the past game for the Eagles, who by the way won yesterday, beat the Panthers 22-16. But man, Jalen Hurts could not find A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown was not happy with Jalen Hurts. This looked like a couple people who were not happy with each other. 13 games into the season. How worried are you about a team that's 11-2 who says they're not on the same page?
Big worried. It's the reason they won't win the NFC East. Look at the difference between Detroit and Philadelphia. One is on an 11-game winning streak. The other is on a 9-game winning streak. But you're battling each other during a 9-game winning streak. That ain't good. And if you watch the tape, he was open. I mean, if you go back and actually look, he was open quite a bit.
Especially when he threw the ball for a little 3-yard check to Saquon Barkley.
To Saquon, yes, that slant, that inside slant, yes, sir.
Well, I know A.J. Brown
He
had
was
to run
pissed.
back to the thing saying, oh, my God, I had single coverage. I
Yes,
broke
sir.
my dude's ankles. I am wide
open. Correct.
Just sitting there,
Correct.
hands in the air like, oh, my God. And no offense, man. Like, to be honest with you, I know they can run the football really, 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 really good. But if you singling A.J. Brown, I'm going to him.
Correct.
A lot.
You are correct for doubling, tripling down on that.
And then also, did you hear about the largest bet made over the weekend?
Yeah, watch this. You got to inform me. So, of course, I work a crap ton. I heard it was $3.3 million on the Eagles, but I don't know who and I don't know where.
Money line minus 700. So, Eagles money line was minus 700. He put 3.3 mil. Figure out the math because I forgot.
I don't know either. I was waiting on you, John.
What the return was on
Hardin
this
Academy
investment.
Education.
I mean, every $100, just put $700 into $3 million.
Are you for real?
Yeah, just put and then you'll find out how much you got paid.
Say it again one more time.
Divide 3.3 million by 700.
Gotcha.
And then put a couple zeros because you get a $100 on that joint. And you do the math, and I'll go back to what I was talking about. This man put $3.3 million, or woman, because we don't know who the better is, for the Eagles just to win the game. And if it wasn't for Leggett, Leggett dropped that pass. That was going to be a touchdown. Did you see it? If he does it, how much would you be sweating a $3.3 million bet? Eagles look like straight trash. Panthers look like they're going to steal this bad boy from you. I bet they were freaking out. 19-14, Eagles trailing going into the fourth quarter. They score a touchdown, get a 2-pointer, and they held on to win at the very end of the game because, again, my man just dropped the ball. Bryce Young didn't look terrible, did he?
No, of course not. They should be happy with that loss. Speaking of Carolina.
he's looking – I wouldn't say Bryce Young is looking like a
he looks better.
He looks better.
He just looks better. After he sat down and, what's it, Red Rifle?
Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket.
Okay.
He's still only completing 59% of his passes this season, 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. And his average pass is still only 5.9 yards. Not great, but he doesn't look like he's completely lost. So we'll see. There's still a lot to and who cares really about Carolina? Kerry Collins ain't walking through that door. You know what I mean? It's been a long, long time.
By the way, my math is horrible. I got like 40 trillion.
Don't worry about it. You Gucci.
I got 40 trillion.
Don't even worry about it. You multiplies to divide, but we ain't got to worry about math because we ain't teaching it.
Panthers at 4 right now, draft order. Are you taking a quarterback or you good with what you got with my man? Look at that look. Wow. He's done? You're releasing him and getting a quarterback at 4?
I don't know because I don't know how much I love this quarterback class. You know?
Ward and Shador be gone. Let's just play that game. Ward and Shador is gone. So now what you got? Nussmeier? I like Nussmeier.
I like him too because he plays from the pocket. He processes information. He's got a very, very, very short delivery.
Matt Stafford-like.
Quick with the ball. Can throw from a lot of arm angles. But again, I mean, we've seen quarterback classes that just don't produce quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Like it's, and again, Shedeur Sanders, he is ridiculous with Colorado. I'm worried about how long he holds the ball. And the national foot, that was also the thing that I was worried about Caleb Williams when he came in, because he held the ball longer than anybody in college football last year. You need to get the ball out of your hand under 3 seconds.
Yeah, he still does,
2.7.
too, by the way.
He still does, and that's why he takes a whole lot of hits. It's one of the things Shedeur does, but it's working for him in college football. At the next level, I don't think it's going to quite be there. And again, of course, you know, Cam Ward looks pretty good.
I think he'll be gone, too.
I'm trying to, like,
okay, just throw the money at Sam Darnold.
And by the way, I saw some people saying Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, not at 4. Not at 4.
I don't think as a pure passer he's, you know, good enough. And again, I don't know if he can actually play in a pro system that's that complicated.
He's Anthony Richardson with better feet.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I just don't think this quarterback class is all that deep. I don't know. If I'm Carolina, I'm glad I don't have to worry. I mean, Quinn Ewers is so bad. I wouldn't even think about draft that fool. Carson Beck, I mean, he just got hurt yesterday, and he's out there Snapchatting women and all kinds of perverted stuff, and then saying things like, I don't watch football. It kind of sounded like he really don't like football. You know, more does it for basically to Snapchat women than actually because he cares about football. So those are some of the things that I would be a little bit concerned. This is just draft class. It's just.
All right,
I mean. They ain't going to find a diamond in the rough like Denver did with Bo Nix.
I feel you.
I mean, Bo Nix.
It's coaching too, man.
Got to give Sean Payton a lot of credit.
A lot of credit.
But Bo Nix is balling. God, I can't believe how much he's balling.
All right, I'm with you. Sam Darnold to the Panthers, man.
I love the Jets lost again yesterday.
I did too.
It's
over with.
Didn't
Eliminated.
even mention it.
Go ahead and retire, my man.
And you really can't blame that one on Aaron Rodgers, can you?
No, he played well.
He actually had probably one of his best games. But Tyreek Hill, man, dude's still fast, ain't he?
Mimi, yep, let's go.
And the one thing is I hate just like talking about people who are miserable. But do you remember, for 2 years now, we actually said some of the stupidest things in the history of the world. The Jets could be a Super Bowl contender.
I said it 2 years in a row.
4 plays in, Aaron Rodgers gone 2 years ago, and this year they wish he was gone. And by the way, do people owe Zach Wilson an apology? Because did you know Zach Wilson's record was better last year than Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, they look better too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess that's why the record was better. But yeah, but as far as body language and the team aspect, they look better. Because all we were wishing for was just a quarterback, and still doesn't have it.
Still does not have it. Now, Kansas City. Lucky or good?
Lucky they don't cover.
Doink.
Doink. Thank
Doink.
you.
Like, I didn't think that ball was going in, did you?
Nah, man. But that's the type of luck they get. And they're going to have that type of season, and they're going to fail in the playoffs.
But what makes you think they're going to fail in the playoffs?
Because you can't keep living on the edge, dude. You can't live like this. Come on, man. You got
I live on the edge.
Yeah, but you ain't living on the edge with a 300-pound guy running. They cannot live like that, John. If they win a Super Bowl like that, I will say they are greater than my said Niners. And
they
not,
are still,
dude,
I want to remind you, 12-1 and looking for the number 1 seed in the AFC. If
playoffs.
All roads go through Kansas City.
They're to the point where it's just about the playoffs, John.
Andy Reid, baby, Pat Mahomes.
I ain't worried about regular season. If they play like this in the playoffs, they're not going anywhere.
I got a question for you. Which team right now are you so sure that could go into Kansas City and beat them?
Detroit.
Well, they play in the NFC, fool.
Oh, you mean as forward? Okay.
I'm talking about how are you keep them out of the Super Bowl this year?
If it goes through Kansas City?
Because right now, Kansas City 12-1, second best record, I believe, is 10-3.
You catch that Pittsburgh team on the wrong day. Defensively, they can shut them down.
The problem with Pittsburgh is that you can look back in history. When you win that many games with one possession, you can go in there. You're built different. You could win a game in the playoffs.
And that's how Pittsburgh plays.
And that's how they play. But it does seem like those teams with the one possession wins, they do usually they might win a game in the playoffs, but they aren't going to win 2. And I'm sorry. Pittsburgh, I like Mike Tomlin. He's a damn good coach. 10-3.
He has
but I
TJ
got Pat
Watt,
on one side. Hey, Chris Jones is over there on Kansas City.
All right.
It ain't like Kansas City's giving up a ton of points this year. 252 points they've given up this year, 238 to Pittsburgh. Those defenses are right there.
Sounds crazy, but Baltimore can, though. Even though they haven't, they can.
Their defense is straight trash.
But that's a shootout game, so yeah.
And Lamar, the problem is Lamar is one of the best quarterbacks on planet Earth. It's just he hasn't been able to get it done in the postseason. I mean, if you look at his numbers in the postseason, they're pretty bad. And you can also blame Todd Monken last year for not running the damn football. 8 carries by his back when you were the number 1 rushing team in the National Football League when you go play against Kansas City. Played right into Kansas City's hand, but hey, man, they did it.
Being football, man, I just don't like the way they win, man. You can't do that in the playoffs. You can't keep living on the edge like that. Sooner or later, it's going to bite you in the butt.
Well, they are the 2-time defending Super Bowl champs, 12-1. And yes, have they been lucky? Yes, they have. But you have to remember, it's better to be lucky than good, dog. Because good might get you there, but lucky means you are a winner. Cowboys and Bengals play tonight. Here in just a little bit, after a little bit of Hardwood, because it feels so good, I'm going to tell you who we're going to be taking that. Jake Crane earlier from the show said take T. Higgins plus 800 first touchdown. The Bengals and the Cowboys. We've been talking a little NFL, college football playoff. Tigers lost Arkansas State yesterday. They're not back on the hardwood until they play Clemson. And what is that, Saturday? Is that game Saturday?
I believe so.
It's going to be a good basketball game. Hopefully the Tigers get back up. They get that win. We forget about Arkansas State. And we've also talked about just how Alabama, Oklahoma, South Carolina, all 3 would beat the brakes off of SMU, in my personal opinion. But SMU.
Red Lashley's not happy with you.
Well, hey, man, he doesn't have to like me at all. He's going to the college football playoff.
And he paid to get there.
Well, he didn't, the boosters.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, SMU people right now, talk about a return on their investment.
Come on.
And they're screaming, we're back, baby.
There you
go. The death penalty almost killed us.
And people tried to crap on that move. Would you pay to get into the big conference if you were Memphis? You damn right. Look at what happened. Look at this return they're getting, man.
Problem is,
and they're good in basketball, too, by the way.
We don't have SMU money, bro.
I know. We got Fred.
I don't know if you know this. Fred's probably tired of being
Fred
up every damn time he turns around.
Uncle Fred.
Thank you,
Uncle
Fred Smith and FedEx.
He's done.
Got to give Richard some love since he'll be taking over that junk. Richard, we need some money.
We got $50 million.
We
need
call
more.
up Arthur. Quit being offensive coordinator and come give me some money.
Who else can we call? We don't have any more billionaires.
I can't, Cannon, but, that's another one of Fred's kids. Also played football at Memphis. Maybe he'll give a lot.
We just got one billionaire, man. That's it.
Let me think.
We need someone to give us the money so we can do this.
I mean, how many Tennessee billionaires are there? I don't know.
Save us, Uncle Fred. Save us.
Yes, please help a brother out. Come on now. I can't believe Josh Allen, how good he played yesterday, and they still lost to the Rams. Puka Nacua was awesome. But we're going to take a little break from talking a little NFL football. Talk about some fun things. Something that is absolutely hilarious, and it's all on the other side. Do me a favor. Don't you dare touch the dial. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
The 2025 Range Rover Sport sits right at the heart of the Land Rover lineup, offering a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility. Smaller and more agile than a full-size Range Rover, it's a great option for everyone who wants luxury and practicality. Every model comes with 8-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive standard. Whether you navigate city streets or tackle rough terrain, Range Rover Sport has you covered. Every drive is powerful and breathtaking. The 2025 Range Rover Sport is the epitome of sporty luxury. Test drive one at Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. I have been told that my ads are all business and I should share some of my personality. Okay, I love tongue twisters, like the one about the terrific tasting toast by Taste Tester Toaster, or Big Black Bugs, Bleed Blue Blood, and of course Sally and her seashells. Or of course the ever-present I'm a mother pheasant plucker, I plug mother pheasants. Okay, enough of that. If you want an honest, fair, reasonable roofing, siding, or gutter estimate, call Fiveash Roofing at 367-0050. That's exactly what you'll get. No empty promises, no high-pressure sales tactics. And no fast-talking salesman trying to convince you that today and only today is the best day for you to get a new roof. For the record, the best day to get a new roof is when you're ready for one. 5-Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you. Want to make this the most unforgettable Christmas in Genesis time? It's easy to do.
So you're sitting there at your desk feeling trapped in your house, working from home, and you can't stop thinking about breakfast. Do you have anything to eat in the house? More importantly, it's not like anyone is watching you. Who's going to know if you sneak off to Sunrise on Jefferson or Sunrise East on Poplar and grab a quick bite to eat? You don't even have to eat in at Sunrise. Both locations will gladly prepare you a great meal to go. Your desk at home is going to feel a lot better when you're tucking into breakfast, or lunch for that matter, from Sunrise.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 at 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. And once again, Johnny Radio.
Didn't even get in the daggone playoffs, really?
Yeah, we are. They didn't do us right.
Well, we lost 3 games.
Well, we still got to be in there.
John, those are the words of Alabama fans right there.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, that's Alabama fans right there, man.
Big Willie freaking out. I saw a lot of
It's Alabama fans
Twitter
right now.
fodder. I will say, man, Ohio State, Tennessee, that first round matchup, I think is going to be ridiculous.
Huge, as you say, huge.
Huge. Did you see the line, though? By any chance?
No, Ohio State, Tennessee.
Let me just tell you something. I am, of course, a gambler, and I look at the lines with a quickness. I'm going to pound. I'm pounding Tennessee plus 7.5 right now. Ohio State, 3 offensive linemen down. They just lost their center a few weeks ago. Their left and right tackles have been gone for a while. And yes, they have good backups.
They have 5-star backups, Joe.
They have good backups, but Tennessee has the best defensive front in the country. Period. Tell me a team that's got a better defensive front. I'm going to tell you you're full of it.
Used to be Ole Miss.
Yeah, but they're not in the playoffs.
The team that was.
The best team left in the playoffs.
The team that was.
Walter Nolan chilling down there, should be playing. So should Jackson.
You're right. And then this is for something, too. You know, I think this is more than just Tennessee, Ohio State. This is SEC versus Big Ten. So I think this is representing in a way. So that hook may get you 7.5.
Man, I think Tennessee wins the game outright. I think Dylan Sampson's going to be able to run the damn football. I mean, my dude rushed for 1,500 yards and 22 touchdowns this year on 250 carries. Dude's sick.
So when is the wake for the funeral? Because if that happens, Ryan Day is out.
I said it already.
He's out if that happens. You know
Let
this,
me just tell you this right now. I am projecting this. Ryan Day is 1-4 against Michigan. He is 0-4 in his career against the SEC. It's about to be 0-5. And guess what? Ryan Day will not have a job in the new year.
He can't lose this.
Pressure also does what to Ryan Day?
Makes him red in the cheeks.
Makes him crumble. Pressure bursts pipes. And Ryan Day, I mean, when they were playing a Michigan team with no quarterback, no wide receivers, no damn offense, and you tell me that they lost that last game they played the final season against that Michigan team, and you think Tennessee's not going to go over there to Columbus and whip that tail? I think Tennessee runs roughshod all over Ohio State. I really do. I mean, Will Howard, they have NFL wide receivers, but Will Howard is not an NFL quarterback. And they can run the ball. They got Quinshad Judkins. They have my man, Travion Henderson. They got great backs. But Tennessee can't stop the run. Tennessee has the better defense. And I don't think Nico's going to have to make too many damn plays, but he's going to make them with his legs, and he's going to make the throws, and Brew and Squirrel and all them boys going to get loose. Ohio State, I'm calling it right now, they lose at home. Ryan Day loses his job, and T-Money cries all the way to the new year.
Devil's advocate. Nico's inexperienced against that defense. Not worried at all?
No. I honestly, I'm dead serious, man. I got Josh Heupel on one side, and I got Ryan Day on the other. Will Howard and Nico, a little toss-up. Nico's going to have a better career throughout. He is young. Will Howard's older, a little more experienced. But it's not like he's a more talented thrower of the football. And I'm serious when I say this. Tennessee's defense is absolutely bleeping filthy. Filthy. They didn't give up 20 points but one time all season, and that was on the road against Georgia. And I don't think they could have played worse in the second half. Like, that was just Tennessee came out, punched Georgia in the face. Things were going well. And all of a sudden, they got hotter than Cooter Brown, and they kept throwing it to Delp, that big-ass tight end. And next thing you know, Georgia just routs them 31-17. That was their only bad performance. The Arkansas game, I still don't understand exactly what happened in that game, but I also don't understand what happened when Ole Miss played Kentucky. Don't understand how Jackson Arnold in Oklahoma got off all over Alabama. You don't know how Alabama also lost to both teams in Tennessee when they lost to Tennessee and Vanderbilt. Like, the SEC is just a beast. You're going to get nipped every once in a while, but they only got 2 L's, and then the rest of the time that defense just goes out there and is filthy.
I think we stumbled up on the stat. You said Tennessee is they've given up 20 points how many times?
One.
Just one. Ohio State is 0-1 when they don't score 20 points, my good friend.
Really?
Michigan, they only scored 10 points and they lost. Other than that, they scored 20 plus. So if what you're saying holds true, keep them under 20.
Oh, damn.
Rocky Top.
Thank you to my Tennessee friend.
Oh, hey, man, I'm just a great producer.
No, not just you. I was talking about one who just texted me. He said, John, you're almost right. You forgot they gave up 23 to Vanderbilt. But they beat the brakes off of Vanderbilt. They handled them very, very well. I forgot they gave up 23. Going into the Vandy game, only team that scored over 20 points on them was Georgia. And Diego Pavia in that first half was on point, and then Tennessee shut him down the entire second half. And Diego's a little stud. Now, I also need to remind you who else is a stud, and that's my peeps over at Rick's Powder Coating. Rick's Powder Coating for a perfect finish every single time. That's all you have to do is go to Rick's. Why? Because they're the best. Do you know what powder coating is? It's like science. It's not painting. Don't paint, powder coat. Anything steel, it sticks to, it stays on, it does not rust, it does not chip. I mean, you can do ornamental iron, you can do automotive, you can do anything custom, you can do also all kinds of crazy cool stuff like, those chairs that sit outside all the time in your little lawn.
And they get all faded and ugly and whatnot.
They get all faded and ugly, and they just don't look good, and all of a sudden you're thinking to yourself, we're just going to have to get some brand new patio furniture. No, dude. Take it to Rick's. And right now, until December 31st, you take a table, chairs, the umbrella stand gets powder coated absolutely free. How you like me now? Check out Rick's Powder Coating by going to rickspowdercoating.com or just give them a call, 901-367-2771. Let's go to Hardinwood.
This is Access Hardinwood.
Yo, yo, and yo. So, we were talking about Kenny Dillingham.
Kenneth.
We were talking about how my man has done a hell of a job. 34 years old. First year in the Big 12. Big 12 champions going to the college football playoff. And you thought yesterday he'd be extremely excited, didn't you?
Still hungry.
He's still hungry. He's still excited, but he's also looking to the future. He is pleading and begging and says that success has only added a list of expenses to his already packed budget. He says because now he needs more NIL because his team's doing good. Other teams are going to try and come poach his players.
As well as if he stays there.
That's another good point.
Money, he needs it, John.
Money. Everybody needs it. He said it's unfortunate these kids today that, that want to be Sun Devils, want to stay Sun Devils. They're going to have to face questions. Do I want to be a Sun Devil or do I want to make an extra $300,000 at another school? And $300,000 ain't nothing to like, are you kidding me? I don't know if you know this. I love this studio. I love Sports 56. But if somebody doubled my salary or threw in an extra $3K, I have to say, guess what? I'd say I'd throw them deuces and bounce, man.
It's not about the money with John Hart. What?
Man, it's always about the money, man. Money. And speaking about the money, did you see what Juan Soto got?
Dude. Man.
Main.
Yeah, that's what
Steve Cohen. My man likes to spend that money.
And not Steve Cohen, Tennessee people. We're talking about $21 billion billionaire Steve Cohen.
Mm-hmm. Yes, not the, what is he, the House of Representatives?
Yeah, get going, vote Cohen. Not him.
Glasses, bald,
Ding.
totally different guy.
There you go, totally different guy. Separated by $21 billion.
Damn.
I had to look that up, man, because none of his money was deferred. So what do you got? How much you get?
He got so much money, it's not even funny. Now, I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people are looking at this deal, and they're scratching their head.
I don't know why.
Because it's 15 years.
But
here's what I'm trying to say. They ain't paying Juan Soto for what he's going to be doing in the final 5 years of his contract. They're paying him because he's 26 right now, and the next 10 years, he's going to be a baller.
There you go. Plus, smart people did that contract.
Not as smart as the Shohei Ohtani contract. He gets $70 million once he signed the junt. He gets $50 million a deadgum year. Not bad at all. And there's still an opportunity for them to up his pay $4 million a season if they want to kick it in and make it all the way up to $805 million.
Come on, John. You know how he does that? By opting in, baby. If he opts in after that 5th year, he gets paid. So I think that is better than Shohei's contract. Because when Shohei signed his
I'm
net...
talking about, no, it's better. Here's what I was saying. Shohei's for the Dodgers is deferred.
It was only worth $450 million.
Correct. So what I'm saying is their Dodgers is like they
playing games, man.
They playing games. Like they did a unbelievable job, doing his contract. Mets just said, you know what? I'm gonna bite the bullet. Steve Cohen said, I'm a billionaire. I'm a baller. I ain't playing no games, man. New York Yankees, you ain't the only team in New York.
Took something, as we say in Memphis.
And he took it good. And he took it real good. Do you have any children?
I have 3 of those
little things.
Yeah, little things. There you go, Joe.
Do any of them play sports?
Yeah, man. I used to coach them in high school and middle school, and they play basketball.
Well, Dan Orlovsky, former Detroit Lions quarterback who
run out of the end zone, man.
ESPN personality. He said that youth sports are completely broken.
Correct.
He said, I think youth sports are broken and so bad, and I emphasize it's all about ego from the coaches. They've completely overwhelmed youth sports. I think the emphasis is on winning and losing and completely overwhelmed. The emphasis on just wins and losses has completely overwhelmed youth sports. I think the lack of commitment to develop has completely overwhelmed and underwhelmed youth sports. Obviously, there's a lot of money attached to it nowadays. He said we've lost sight of why kids play sports.
Says the rich guy. Kids want to get paid, man. He know that.
Yeah, but more for youth sports. And I do understand some of the ego that goes in it. But when is it when he says youth sport, is that up to 12 years old, 13 years old?
No, I think he's going up to high school. So we'll stop at the high school level. But newsflash, the guys that have been good have always been good. Egos have. Ask Isaiah Thomas back in the day. Was it about the ego? Of course it was. Coming up in high school, McDonald's All-American, it's about the ego. It's always been. Newsflash.
And by the way, why are we got McDonald's supporting the McDonald's All-American? If you're eating McDonald's every day, let me tell you something, man. You ain't going to be an athlete. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think they're there to eat the McNuggets, John. I think it's about the Ronald McDonald House.
Did you know, dang. Did you know that Anthony Edwards was fined $25,000 for cussing during the post-game interview the other night?
No, but he's a cusser.
Yes,
He's a cusser.
Yeah, he dropped an F-bomb while talking about it. But I was going to say, do you remember Diego Pavia? After Vanderbilt?
ESPN live on TV.
When they beat Alabama.
We effing did it. Yeah.
And he dropped a few of them. And I know you can't fine a kid,
Of course
25, but I know they make money. But I've also heard a lot of other NBA players, like, is this a new thing that they've implemented?
As far as finding
Because
them?
I can promise you I can learn to quit cussing. I don't care how rich I am. If I have to pay $25,000 for every time I cuss, I will not cuss.
Unless you got 40 mil, you'll cuss every now and again. Sometimes it's worth it.
I'm just saying I won't just cuss on TV. I'm still going to cuss. Again, I don't trust people who don't cuss.
Yeah, that's right?
Yeah, that's why I never trust Josh.
For real.
All poo-poo. What?
Oh, poop.
All poo-poo and pee-pee. What are we? Are you a kindergarten teacher? Or a basketball coach? Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Oh, poo-poo.
I just, that deal for my man is crazy. Also, one other thing I thought was pretty interesting. Do you know who Ava Luis is?
I don't know, but I feel like I should.
She's an OnlyFans model. I guess that's what we call them now. She put out on her IG yesterday, she was very kind and did not call this players out. But a professional football player texted her and said,
I think where you're going.
"Hey, sexy, got 2 free tickets to the game if you do me a solid and flash the Saints to distract him."
Yeah.
OMG, she says in response. OMG, what for? And he's like, "I play for the Giants. I got you. Ha ha. What number?" So I make sure to get a good look. She doesn't put the number out there or says what he says. Bing, bang, boom. She says, "I can't let you know. Like, don't put out who I am because I don't want to get fined for having you go topless to the game." But all he does, he sends her some tickets. She goes to the game yesterday, and guess what she does?
You already said it, John.
She flashed them. She showed her
She's
tatas.
gorgeous, too. She's gorgeous, too. I saw that. I didn't know you would bring that up. She's gorgeous, dude. And did you see her post? Her post.
Mm-mm.
So on the X/Twitter, big arrow pointing at her with her, doing the topless thing. And it says, "Did my job." No, did my part. Did my part.
I did see that.
Absolutely.
And speaking of OnlyFans, Sophie Rain, do you know who she is?
Oh, I heard about her. Come on.
Dude.
She's about her money.
This is insane. You know how I told you that Lamar Odom purchased a real sex doll?
Yeah, I saw it.
And it's identical to Khloe Kardashian's.
It is.
Well, guess what else he did? After he got his first one, he decided to get another one, and now the new one's going to look like Sophie Rain. I'm worried about Lamar.
Hey, John, he's just making it public.
Just if you went to a brothel and OD'd and everything, I wouldn't look at the actual human-to-human contact as the reason I would OD. I would look about all that yayo you stuck up your nose and all those Viagra you ate for 36 hours. You know what I'm saying? The ticker can only take so much.
And I can beg to differ that there's quite a few blow-up dolls in Memphis as well. Think so?
No, man, I really don't. Because if there was more blow-up dolls, would we be number one in the gash? Probably not.
Number one.
You know what the gash is, don't you?
No, enlighten me.
Gonorrhea, AIDS, syphilis, and herpes, bro. You don't want the gash, brother. And you don't want to touch the dial because we got a winner on the other side. Who's going to win tonight's game? Who are we betting? I'll tell you next. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
If wedding bells are in your future, you need an unforgettable engagement ring from a jeweler you can trust. And that's been James Gaddis Jewelers for over 60 years. With a huge selection and the best prices, James Gaddis is a master jeweler and diamondologist. Beautiful jewelry from James Gaddis is always the right choice. Choose from rings to earrings, necklaces to bracelets, and gemstones to watches. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar, online at GaddisJewelers.com and Instagram at Gaddis Jewelers. Say I do at James Gaddis Jewelers.
Because it's Christmas, Family Leisure needs your help. Family Leisure has inventory they have to move because you know it's Christmas. So don't wait. You can complete your ultimate game room with a new pool table, a new shuffleboard, new arcade games, or just get all of them for Christmas. Tons and tons of theater seating, overstock, and place to move. 'Tis the season for fire pits. And all fire pits at Family Leisure are now 20 to 30% off. You say you didn't get a spa this year? Let's say no more. Spas are in stock, ready for Christmas delivery, and up to $1,500 off. These are just a few of the deals happening right now for Christmas. Just come on by and check out their gigantic showroom. You never know what kind of deal you're going to find. Family Leisure. With weather out fully for family and fun come together for Christmas.
Family Leisure, 2120 Whitney Road in Memphis, right off I-40.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Jenkins Floors and More invite you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Little Rock, Cleveland, Mississippi, and now open in Horn Lake at 2356 West Goodman Road. Specializing in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds, Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
But you gotta be willing to take the hit and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. So, bowl season's here, right? And I'm not talking about smoking a bowl. I'm talking about football bowls. You know what I mean? Different type of bowl. Some of these bowl games, I'd rather just sit home and smoke a bowl than actually go to any of them. You know what I mean? Who wants to go to the Gator Bowl and watch Ole Miss play Duke? Duke! So depressing. But I just saw this thanks to my good friend Bob, who loves the Vols. He says, did you know there's the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl presented by Gin and Juice by Dr. Dre and Snoop?
By Dr. Dre and Snoop. There you go, good sir.
Colorado State Rams and the Miami, Ohio Redhawks. I hate to say this. Nothing says anything other than not Snoop and not Dre when you talk about Ohio Redhawks and the Colorado State Rams. That's fascinating. So we have now a Pit Bull Stadium, right? And we have a bowl game, Snoop and Dre. Boy, the world is a-changing and a-changing quick. Now, I got to ask you this. Who's going to win tonight? Do you like the Cowboys at all or just hate them because you're a 49ers fan?
I hate them with a passion because I'm a 49er fan. But
when Deion left, did you cry like a baby?
No, because they stole Deion from us. We had Deion first.
I know. That's what I'm saying. When he left.
Oh, yeah, when he left us. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He went back,
okay.
Remember?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it would hurt. You cried?
Yeah, absolutely. He took Charles Haley with him. But we got, I forget who we got. But anywho, no. Offensively, they are kind of humming. I mean, Cooper Rush is okay. And have you seen that Cincinnati defense? Good. I haven't either.
They give
That's
up
why they're
a
going to
whole
lose. Good.
Lot
I haven't seen that defense
points.
So, nope.
Like a whole lot
Cowboys
of
plus the points in the shootout.
Cowboys plus the... Really?
Oh, yeah.
Man.
They're starting to wake up. I mean, they have those little stretches.
The Bengals have gone 5-1 on the road against the spread this year. Isn't that crazy? Cowboys have won 4 of their last 5 matchup against AFC North teams. The Bengals' last 5 games have gone over the total, and I think that's where you go tonight. 49.5. And I think what you do is you sit there, you relax, and you kind of chill. You watch a little Bengals and some Cowboys. First quarter, I think, is going to come out a little bit slower than people think. I know Joe Burrow's been hot as Scooter Brown. 30 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 3,300 and some yards. Chase is a beast. Higgins, first-time touchdown. I like Jake Crane, plus 800. But I feel like you get that sucker around 46.5, 45, that's when you pounce. Man, you watch some of these games, man, first quarter, they kind of feel each other out, not a lot of scoring. And then next thing you know, fireworks, baby.
I know. See the Bills and the Rams yesterday. More than 80 points, man.
I'm going over, baby. Neither team can stop anybody. Neither team can stop a nosebleed. Both offenses are effective, I will say. Bengals is good. Cowboys is effective. I think it's going to score.
So like they say on Family Feud. Good answer.
I think they're going to score like Lamar Odom does.
With his dolls?
Man, by the way, man, those dolls look really heavy. Like it's a Khloe Kardashian remake. So you got to pick up 130 pounds.
She got to weigh 2. The dog got to weigh 2 bills.
Man, I'm just saying, man. I don't, man, no. And these things don't take air. You can't just go turbocharged. They're real. Where do you store them? I hope everybody has a wonderful Monday. For Darian, I'm John. Y'all get out there. Make this world a better place. We're going to see you on the flip side. Peace.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom-made solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality,